Hello again, everybody. Welcome to our next segment of Coffee Talks. Again, we bring on our agents to just get to know them a little bit more, hear more about their stories and what's going on with them. Today is no different. We have one of our favorites and longest agents at Madison. Michelle Bopp is just an amazing person and one of the kindest people, and we're just glad to work with you. I'm glad to know you. I know, that's the point.
That's our goal.
Right?
Just so we're clear.
No, but you really are. I've never seen you have a bad day. You're always smiling. You're always uplifting, and it's just nice for us. So thank you for that. But we want to know you more, and part of that, things that you bring to the table is that inspiration and good mood all the time, and such positive energy. But what gets you going in the morning? You get out of bed. What is it that drives you and gets you to be in that positive mindset?
Well, probably. I mean, I think everybody says their family and all that. But really, I mean, I don't have children, so my dogs get me up no matter what. If I want
Literally.
If I really want to stay in bed, that's not the case.
Not an
They
option.
won't let me do that. But yeah, my dogs and my family really do get me up. And you're going to laugh, but the weather here, the sun, I mean, that's not a hoax, I don't think. I mean, when we do have a couple days of bad weather, I'm like,
oh, I know.
yeah, so.
And you enjoy the outdoors. You do a lot of Colorado
I
stuff.
I do. In fact, I just was up skiing last weekend with my sister that came into town.
Very nice.
Where were you?
Yeah, up at Copper.
No way.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, I love Copper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's why I live in Colorado. This is because of those mountains. Absolutely love it. So you got your license 14, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And I always say you're one of our OGs, our originals, original 10. You've been here for a long time. So when you joined Madison, what year was it?
2008.
Was it 2008? So
Yeah,
right when we first started.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what has changed in the market? Like what has, since 14, 15 years, I want to hear from you. Like what has changed in the market? What has shifted? How have you had to shift along with it?
Well, the biggest thing has been technology, where, I mean, you would go out and take your little camera and take pictures and go and, and write a full and print out fax, if anybody's heard of fax machines, fax, your stuff in.
Yes.
And that was just crazy. Now it's like boom, 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 fast pace. You got to know how to text, know how to do Twitter, all that stuff. And the technology is just within the last 10 years has been just remarkable, I think, which has been good for us, actually.
Yeah.
I think because more people now, years ago, you were lucky if you got one picture on the MLS. Now it's a whole thing with virtual tour and the drones. That's been the biggest.
It was a big, thick book that you had the one little photo in, right?
Yes. And then you flipped it around, and when we got the internet, that kind of changed. But still, it was still, you weren't sending emails and stuff like you do now.
I just remember the fax. We'd fax offers in a 14-page contract, and you'd sit and watch every page go through. And then one would stick to the other.
Like,
and you have to start over.
Mad. You get so mad because you're like,
it's so funny because I don't think my kids probably know what a fax machine really is, right?
No.
They probably don't.
So
well, anyway, I'm glad I ditched the pager though.
Yeah.
Come on,
the pager.
the pager. That's it.
So in your time, you've sold a lot of homes. You've helped a lot of clients. You've been in this market. And being a top producer for all of your time here. Talk about maybe a favorite property you've had to work on, or something that just really was just like, wow, this is amazing. I love this part of it.
Well, I will say it's not actually the physical property that was really, that I really enjoyed working with. It was actually the type of client that I had.
Okay.
So it was my next door neighbor. Older lady and her family, and unfortunately she passed away, but I got to know the kids so well, and they did everything I told them to do, get the house prepared, and everything. And this was, I guess the start of the kind of the craziness where everybody had to overbid.
Yeah.
They were starting to overbid at that time. And we got a family that came in there and they didn't overbid. They gave a fair amount, what the kids wanted for the deceased woman. but they did such a remarkable job that we're now good neighbors. I would say great neighbors, actually, because they just really cared about the deceased woman's family. They cared about the neighborhood. They cared about how to do things correctly. They had a great agent. Wasn't a Madison person, but they still, but I made sure that everything went well. But just the fact that whole ordeal now has blossomed into a neighbor and a friendship.
Yeah.
I think that's the coolest thing. I mean, I've had
sometimes we get lost in that, don't we? We talk about that. We forget that these are relationships we are creating. We are part of one of the biggest things that they're ever going to do in their life.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Selling that home for the family, and then also the family that bought it. So with that, someone's looking for a new home or never bought. Obviously, we have a lot of people moving here to Denver, right? Give me like 1 or 2 tips you would give them. Oh. You see, you know what I'm going? Like, because there's HGTV shows. There's these 30-minute shows that like everyone's like, oh, this is how I'm going to buy. No, there's so much more.
Yeah.
What are 1 or 2 tips you'd give to a buyer moving into this market?
Well, definitely get your homework done. Get that paperwork in. Because you
for the
always,
loan side,
for
right?
the loan
yeah,
side.
for getting the loan, get it all done.
Just
I agree.
because for the fact that you can look all day, but if you're not ready to purchase, and
right.
I will that's what I do prepare my buyers for. I mean, we'll have our first meeting, we'll go through a house. I'll point out, don't look at the pretty stuff. That's another tip.
Yeah.
The pretty stuff is there. Let's look at the mechanical, let's look at the foundation, let's look at the roof.
Yep.
Let's look at where the property is positioned.
Yep.
Those are the tips that I pound into my buyers, because this market is, you don't have time to think anymore. You have to look at that house as if you were inspecting that house your first showing.
Because that's what's happened with technology a little bit.
Yeah.
Technology has turned it so fast that you don't have time to react. So the point is to have a realtor that is out there looking on your behalf because you've been doing it so many years.
Please,
What's
this is
one
too
tip for a
important.
seller?
Is to have that doggone house prepared.
Okay.
How I prepare my sellers is when you're ready for the photographer to come in, you're ready for a showing. You
Perfect.
have to have it right
House
then,
is
and
ready.
the house is ready. Because usually within the next day, anyhow, you're going to be putting it on the market by the time you get the photographs and the flyers and that. So
do we
you
know why
gotta-
she's such a good? Are we figuring out why she's such a good realtor? I hope everyone watches this.
Well,
this is absolutely
I
fantastic.
don't know.
Oh, it's awesome.
I just become personable, and you have to.
Yeah.
You have to look at it through, is this buyer going to like this house in 2 years, 5 years, 6 years?
I love it.
So you're not thinking about the immediate right now, let's get this closed. You're thinking, how is this going to play out for a long time? That's so huge.
Yeah, you want to keep your buyers. You don't want to just sell a house just
relationship.
because it's
And then they're done.
a shiny object and
That's
then
it.
they're done.
Yep.
No, I want relationships, and that's how I've done my business.
Clearly.
Well, I'm going to say
It's awesome.
cheers.
Oh,
Goodness.
Cheers.
So fun.
It went by so. Thank you.
that's it. Wow,
That is
that
done.
was
We're
good.
good.
So much. You were fantastic,
Thank
and just thank you for being here with Madison.
Oh,
Thank you for
I
being
love
part of this
you
team.
guys.
We love you.
I love you.